how to start your own SMMA or social media marketing agency in 2020. That is what I'll be covering in this video, and I'll be giving you guys the exact roadmap and blueprint that I am following to reach this goal of mine, but also I'll be giving some of the mistakes I've made in the past, or I see other people in a similar position to me making. Hopefully that this video will bring you guys a ton of value. Just for those of you that are not currently subscribed, my name is Boyan, and I started my agency around 4 months ago. Well, technically I started taking action this month, January. However, I started learning about this industry about 4 months ago, and I think, in my own opinion, I've made pretty good progress with it. Just because, so here's the thing, right? For transparency's sake, I don't have any clients at the moment, and any of the outreach I did before January was kind of just like manual, and it was not automated at all. There was no tracking system implemented, and it was very just like amateur, because it was just so disorganized. I wasn't tracking anything, and there wasn't specific templates I was following, and the volume just wasn't high enough for me to analyze any of the data. But now that I have a small set of data, I will be continuing to grow that and trying various outreach methods and also sharing that with you. So the reason why you guys should actually listen to me as opposed to other agency owners out there are some YouTubers that I will recommend, but there are some that I just will also recommend you. I won't say the names of those, but basically a lot of YouTubers who do SMMA don't actually have clients themselves or run an agency, and they might have a client that they were running ads for in the past, but like aren't doing it anymore because they weren't able to deliver the results. Now, it is really easy to fake the lifestyle, so I do really want you guys, if you guys were to learn from anyone, to really be wary of whether they're just trying to sell you on a lifestyle and then upsell you to like a course or something, or like some sort of coaching program. I'd be definitely really wary of that. You might be wondering, well, if I don't have a client, what have I done so far? Now, I've taken quite a few courses now, and I have access to basically all of the major ones, and have built funnels for my website, and also my email outreach method right now is actually pretty good. So yeah, other than that, I've also made changes to my lifestyle and stuff like that. And basically, the reason why most people fail is because they don't optimize their lifestyle for the amount of work is required for this. And then they don't also have the mindset that kind of like you need to be successful in business, not just in the SMMA space, but any business you start. All right, I'm going to stop rambling here, but I just wanted to talk about one quick thing before I give you guys the exact blueprint guide on how to start SMMA in 2020. One of the biggest mistakes I made at the very start, and also I see just a ton of other people making, is complacency. You are complacent to do outreach. You're complacent to, do what's required of you and do like the important tasks. Like for me, complacency is the biggest killer of any agency out there, just because like if you don't do the important stuff, aka in the beginning, if you don't have any clients, all you should be focusing on is sales. You should be doing that day and night. Like in your head, all you should be thinking about is, how can I get my first client? And then how can I deliver the results that I need? A lot of people, what they do in the beginning is like, you think you need to know everything, and you place different kinds of restrictions in your head of why outreach won't work, because let's say you don't have a contractor, you don't have any case studies, you don't have a website. Like all of that is utter BS. Once you have your Stripe set up, you have a draft of your contract ready to go, then you are ready to do outreach. Now, yeah, I just can't stress enough how important outreach is, and it's really important that you hit the volume for that as well. There's also some things that I feel like aren't really talked about in this space as much, and it's that, building a social media marketing agency and running your own agency, it's like super hard. It's not easy. It takes time, and just like how Rome wasn't built in a day, your business won't be built in a day, a month either. For example, you might see all of these YouTubers quoting you saying, oh, I built my agency to 6 figures in like a matter of 3 months, 6 months, 8 months. Thing is, technically they did. So for example, Iman Gadzi, he took around 2 years. Salim Shami, who's doing YouTube videos on SMMA as well, highly recommend him, by the way. He's a friend of mine, and also I learn a lot from him as well. It took him 2 years to scale to where he's at, and also other people like Kai Bax, Bastian, they also like took substantial time in terms of how long it took for them to scale their business to where it is now. And there's just other agency owners that are more ahead than me in this journey, and they all took between like a year to 3 years. That seems to be like the average time period required for success. Now, technically, they're not wrong when they quoted you, oh, I scaled my agency to 6 figures in a matter of like 3 months. Because here's the thing. Where they started counting was day 0 was when, let's say, they had 1 client or 2 clients and they were getting paid like 1 to 2 grand. And then 3 months down the line, when they've perfected their outreach method and their sales scripts, etc., that's when they're able to reach the 10K mark within 3 months. Because probably most likely before that, they were optimizing their own lifestyle, mindset, and everything. That's not directly to do with the agency, but influences it very, very substantially. So yeah, anyways, let's get into the blueprint on how, in my opinion, it's the right way to do an agency. 3 months down the line, my opinion on this will definitely change. So don't quote me on what I say now, just because like, you know, I've only started 4 months ago. So what I know now is not going to be the best of the best out there. But what I can guarantee is that any advice I do give, I do and implement myself. But also I have seen success with it. I know people that have seen success with it. So that's why I will be sharing it with you. Anyways, so step 1, if you don't know anything about this space, I highly recommend you get a course. Just because like the thing about courses is it gives you like kind of the blueprint, but also the step-by-step. So for example, like step 1 would be actually just starting your agency, whether that be building a website or creating an email address, something like that. That's what a course will really teach you, but also it will get into a bit of more of the nitty-gritty that YouTube videos just don't seem to cover, because 1, it is really valuable information. 2, it's just not possible to cover everything in a YouTube video that you would need, just because then you'll be making videos like every single day for the rest of your life, because there's so many variables in everything. But also buying a course gives you access to a very to the community behind that course. And if it's a good course, it'll have a good community that will be supportive. You can ask questions and find like-minded individuals to network with. So yeah, that's why I highly recommend getting a course. Now, in the comment section a month ago, I was asked what courses I recommend. Personally, I bought Iman Gadzi's course. I do highly recommend it. I've taken Jordan Platten's new course as well. I've seen like Ty Lopez's course as well, and just a few other courses. Iman's Agency Incubator is by far like the best one, because it covers stuff that's outside of the agency as well. Like you will need to be optimizing your lifestyle. Like I can't stress how important mindset and lifestyle and habits and systems and routines are in creating your own business in general. Like without my routines and what I do religiously every single day, I would not in a million years be able to have the output I have currently. And the thing is with that is, technically you can scale to 6 figures without doing too much lifestyle changes, but it's just going to be a much tougher and more tiring process. Now, number 2. Oh, sorry. One more thing about the courses. I don't recommend you buy from a third party. 1, you might get scammed. 2, you do actually want to support the content creators, because it's like, it really does take so much effort in creating a course. One of my friends is making a course right now, and it's honestly like, there's a lot of beta testing with like closed groups and just community feedback, and actually going back to re-record the videos and then making the materials for the videos. It honestly does take hundreds and hundreds of hours if you want to crank out a good one, which is why I do recommend that you support the original creator. But also, if you were to buy from like one of those people that are reselling their own accounts, you will never get access to the communities. And through the communities, I've been able to reach out to successful agency owners for advice and also make friends with a few of them as well. Notably, like Salim Shami, I have to like put his channel up there because like he has helped me a lot so far, and I know for a fact that he will be continuing to be like extremely helpful and add a lot of value to my life. So I'm even going to link his channel down below actually. Do go subscribe to him. He's making 7 videos a week every single week until the end of this year. So yeah, definitely go check him out. But yeah, on with step 2. Step 2 is always never be afraid to ask for help. Now, people that are more ahead of you in the journey, they would often just be so happy to like give you a few bits of advice here and there. Obviously, don't ask them to do things for you, but just like, you know, speak to them, see how they did it, and then just like maybe sometimes even implement their strategies. And like overall, you want to become friends with these people just because like, one, they're ahead of you, and 2, it's nice to have someone that you speak to on a regular basis that have done it and have been through what you have been through, just to keep that hope, that belief within yourself that it's possible. Because for example, if you just isolate yourself from everyone else in the communities and never reach out to anyone, never ask for help, what's going to happen is slowly, once, let's say you send out your first 100 emails and get no reply, you're going to be really discouraged from trying anymore. And that's why a lot of people actually even give up. But just like how you ask for help, if anyone ever asks you a question, don't air them. Don't like just be like, oh, try to upsell them on some sort of coaching service or like a consulting call. Just help them out. If it takes less than like half an hour, I'd say, even, especially in the beginning, just help them out. Jump on a call with them, or send them a few messages, quick voice note. It's so easy to just be helpful in the community, even if you don't have any clients yet. Anyways, step number 3 is, once you finish learning from a course, just start. Just take action and implement the actionable steps that they give in the courses. Because honestly, like, where do you think those action steps came from? It comes from experience and also past success. No one's going to put an action step in there that is just utterly useless, that they don't even think contributed to their success at all. So do what's said in the courses, because what I think is happening with a lot of people that take the courses is literally they just kind of watch it and then realize how much work it would be and then just never start, which is why course success rates is so low, because there's no form of like accountability within that. Step 4, you need to decide on what kind of paths you go down in terms of service delivery. So there's 2 ways you can go about it. Number 1 is to do the service delivery yourself, or number 2, you can get a contractor. So, or like media buyer, whatever you want. Now, the reason I recommend personally getting a contractor first, because when I was pitching and doing the sales meetings without a contractor and without any past results, it was just, I just wasn't comfortable in like giving out specific numbers and targets that I plan to hit for the client. So for example, I was in a sales meeting and you know, like they just asked, well, what kind of results can you bring us? And I was just like, well, you know, like nothing's ever guaranteed, blah, blah. But that comes from the fear of me not being able to deliver. But now, because I have contractors with phenomenal case studies, I'm able to actually believe in the service I sell and have a lot of faith that I will smash it for any client that I take on board. Basically, the main reason for having a contractor is it will just save you a lot of time and headache, because yes, you do have to give like a significant portion of your profits to them, but it does save you a lot of time, because if you start and do the service delivery yourself, you might have to offer some free trials, or like just be really good at sales to be able to convince someone that you add enough value to charge the price that you do. But also with a contractor, you can set much higher retainers, because now you guys have experience. So yeah, tip for you there, get a contractor. Step 5, outreach is the most important thing that you can do when you first start. Like, you can faff about with websites all you want, but that's not going to put money into your Stripe account. You need to do outreach. So personally, I would recommend trying to automate the outreach process as much as possible, just so that it enables you to hit the volumes. However, if you're unable to do that, in my opinion, cold DMing, cold LinkedIn outreach, and cold calling is the best way to go about it. So right now I mainly do email funnels and email sequencing outreach, but that's because I'm able to automate that process. If you sending emails without any form of sequencing or automation is extremely difficult because it's just impossible to keep track of everything. And yes, you might have like an email template that you copy and paste and you just fill out like the first name, company name, but you need to be able to customize individual emails to tailor it to specific companies, because every single lead or prospect has different needs that you need to be able to like kind of analyze yourself. So if you were to do email outreach just by yourself, then the volumes you'll be able to hit is a lot lower, because you have to send the follow-up emails constantly by yourself as well, and that just is too time consuming. I did that in the beginning, sent about 30 and just gave up, because sending that 30 took about like 30 hours of my time. No joke. A good guideline for in terms of outreach is I highly recommend reaching out to at least 20 to 30 businesses every single day. When you start, it's acceptable to start off at like 5 a day and then slowly increment it to 10, 15, 20. Eventually, you want to be outreaching to about 40 to 50 businesses on a daily basis. If you're cold calling, there's no reason why you shouldn't be dialing over 100 numbers every single day, just because you need to dial about 20 to reach 3 business owners, and from there you're able to close about like 0.5 of those 3 into a meeting. So yeah, those were my cold calling stats from when I did cold calls for local businesses, but now I predominantly do email, LinkedIn, or cold DM outreach. Number 6, have a sales script drilled into your head. Like, if I slap you to wake you up middle of the night, you should be able to spit your sales script out to me like this. Like, you'd have to be able to handle the objections. You'd have to, just be really confident in what you have to say. Now, where people go wrong with this is they kind of have the sales script, but they don't understand why they're saying a lot of the things. So for example, when it comes to pricing the service, some people I know would literally just be like, oh yeah, we charge 2K. And then once they get hit with the question like, oh, why do you charge that? Like, what kind of value are you adding to me? Then they're just like, well, service fee, and then, like they just kind of black out on the spot, which is terrible. You will lose 100% of your sales meetings that way. So please do have a script in mind, and also be confident with handling all the objections yourself. All right, so I just had to change the camera battery real quick, but now we're back. Anyways, so so I just had to change the camera battery real quick because it died. I forgot to charge it last night. Sorry about that. But anyways, now we're back. So step 7 is, when it comes to service delivery, and if you do have a contractor, remember it's your agency that you're running. So do actually give them a step-by-step plan on how to run the ads and what you plan to do with it. And in terms of like who you want to target, etc., etc. Don't just let them run off with the client and handle all the service delivery, because let's say the client isn't satisfied with the service delivery, then it's still on your head. So do make sure you understand the terminologies involved in running a successful campaign for any business of the niche that you're in. Number 8 is make sure you take payment before you do any of the service delivery, just because like there's been I've known cases where people take the payment at the end of the month, and either sometimes the client refuses to pay, or there's just like a lot of chasing, and that's going to be a massive headache for you as an agency owner, because you're going to have to pay your contractors and at the end of the month as well. And lastly, once you start making around 5K a month in revenue, I'd highly recommend that you just bring on a full-time media buyer to run all the ads for you anyways, or like some sort of contractor that you were hiring before, just because that makes it a lot cheaper in the long run, because 1, they'll have stable income, but 2, they'll be working for you full time. So any of the campaigns you do in the future, you would be guaranteed essentially sustainable and consistent results. So that's how you do it in a nutshell, how to start a successful SMMA social media marketing agency in 2020. However, I will be going over each step in depth, especially the outreach processes, like no other channel does, just because like I don't want to charge for any of the information because technically it's all publicly available and you just need a bit of creativity to figure that out for yourself as well. But anyways, so that concludes the end of this video. As I said, I'll be uploading Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. UK time every single day. And this week I'll be focusing on showing you guys exactly how I do my email outreach. And honestly, I'm super excited about showing you how I source my leads exactly, because my method is completely free and you're able to find the business owner's personal email like 90% of the time, 100% of the time if it's publicly available. So yeah, please do subscribe for that, and I will see you guys on tomorrow's video. Bye now.